Reilly here. Welcome to the No Spin News, Tuesday, October 31st, 2023. Stand up for your country and happy Halloween. Do you believe in the devil? Do you believe in hell? So in this spooky season, there's an undercurrent of spirituality, Druids, all of that for the Halloween tradition. We're going to get into this a little bit later on and have an interesting discussion about evil and whether it will be punished when we all die. So I think you might want to hang around for that. But first, the Talking Points Memo, new information about Joe and Hunter Biden, and that is the subject of the TPM this evening. So a Freedom of Information lawsuit was filed against the National Archives and Records Administration. They store all of government documents that are of any importance, okay? They did not want to hand over Vice President Biden's emails. So the Southeastern Legal Foundation, a conservative nonprofit public interest law firm based in Marietta, Georgia, outside of Atlanta, they sued and they won. So the National Archives had to turn over 82,000 pages of emails. They have not been read. I guess maybe somebody did, but we don't know, has made public what's inside the 82,000 of emails. What we do know is that as vice president, Joe Biden used 3 pseudonym name accounts. That means a phony name on 3 accounts. Now, before you jump and speculate, there may be a rational explanation for this. Privacy, I don't know. I'm not going to speculate in this report. I'm going to tell you what's happening because the other media outlets will not. So it's my job to do this. All right, so we got 82,000 emails under phony names for Joe Biden. Remember, Hillary Clinton had 52,000 government emails on a private server. Nothing happened to her. Now, some believe the fix was in there. I do, certainly do. And I believe that the fix was in for Joe Biden, too, because they had to sue the National Archives to get the 82,000 out. Okay, so now, and all of these emails that were sent by Joe Biden were sent in the 8 years he was vice president. So he was on the clock, on the official duty. I can't take it any further than that right now, but I'm setting it up because sooner or later, we're going to know what those emails said, at least some of them. On another point regarding Hunter Biden and his father, Joe, Mr. Biden, Hunter, got $250,000 loan from a Chinese executive during the 2020 election. Okay, so $250,000 comes from China to Hunter Biden. This becomes problematic when his father is elected president, because it's a shady loan. How do I know it's shady? Well, Hunter Biden got the money through one of his companies, and then he gave the entire company to a man named Kevin Morris, 58 years old. You may have heard that name. All right. He's the sugar brother to Hunter Biden. Hollywood guy, represented Chris Rock, Matthew McConaughey, and he's done some work in Hollywood. So Hunter Biden transfers the whole company, including the $250,000 debt, to Kevin Morris, who takes it. So that means Hunter Biden doesn't have to pay the money back, and Hunter Biden could have spent the money already. You got the cash, you could have spent it, and Morris has to pay it back to the Chinese guy. Does that make sense to you? Do you know anybody that would do that for you? I mean, it's $250,000 and a defunct company. Now, Morris has done it before. He's loaned Hunter Biden more than $2 million to pay off federal tax burden. Okay? Now, he can forgive the loan. The tax implications are swirling, but the federal government won't investigate them. I mean, it's startling, but that's the truth. Morris has a private jet, big one. He gave it to Hunter Biden to fly to Arkansas from California for his child custody hearing, where Hunter Biden said he didn't have enough money to pay for his kid. But he came in and out on a private jet. Okay. And finally, Morris has paid Hunter Biden's monthly living expenses in Los Angeles, according to the New York Times. So Morris is in, I don't know, what do you think? 5 million, 7 million on Hunter? Must like Hunter. Now, none of this is good news, but there are two impediments. Number one, the Justice Department, as corrupt as it's ever been in this country. There's never been a time in America where the Justice Department of the United States has been this corrupt, ever. And believe me, under U.S. Grant and other presidents, there were some problems. This is the highest point of corruption ever. Because the Democratic Party has set up a system whereby most of the departments are staffed with liberal Democrats who are not going to investigate anything to do with the Bidens. So Congress is doing this, and then independent agencies like the one we mentioned. Okay, that is the memo. President Biden's scheduled today, nothing as usual. He gave some remarks on protecting Americans' retirement security, whatever that means. I'm not really sure what it means, but it doesn't really have much to do with anything. Now, let's go to the war in Gaza. So you're going to hear in the next 2 months, every day, Israel did this, Hamas did that. Can't confirm any of it. Nobody could. News media sometimes will hype it up. Other times they'll ignore it, depending on what their agenda is. There isn't a uniform agenda with the U.S. Media like there is with Trump. U.S. corporate media is out to destroy Trump. In Israel, Hamas is kind of divided now. So it's not, you can't really say they all do this. They don't all do this. But anyway, at least 14 attacks have been lodged against U.S. forces in Iraq and Syria. So as I wrote in Killing the Killers, and again, if you really want to understand any of this terrorism, that is the book you have to read. You should get that and Witches together, okay? So there are 2,500 U.S. Special Forces in Iraq and 900 in Syria, 3,400 altogether. That's what the Pentagon says. There may be more, there may be less, all right? But there are thousands based in northern Syria and western Iraq. And they're there to hunt down the terrorists, ISIS and Al-Qaeda. So the Iranian Islamic Revolutionary Guard has attacked these forces 14 times since the Hamas-Israel situation took place. Now, those attacks are usually lobbing a couple of mortar shells in or rockets in. No U.S. casualties that we know of. One contractor had a heart attack, an American contractor. This goes on a lot, not just now. This isn't new. And the U.S. military, you have to assume, is shooting back. But they're not going to tell us. All right, this is all classified stuff, but you should know about it. News Nation poll. News Nation, I do them twice a week now, Monday with Leland Vittert on his 7 o'clock program, and Wednesday tomorrow with Cuomo on his 8 o'clock program. This is a cable network that's coming up in the ratings. So you might want to check it out. And particularly when I'm on, because we loving things up there. Anyway, they got a new poll out. Republican 38, Democrat 35, fair poll. Do you approve or disapprove of the way Biden's handling his job? 44 approve, that's higher than normal. 56 disapprove. Would you say your sympathies lie more with Israel or with the Palestinians? Israel, 49% of Americans sympathize. Palestinians, 10%. That's a very, very low number. Equal between Israelis and Palestinians, 26%. Okay. Not sure, 15. And I usually deride the not sure people, but this is complex, so I kind of understand. Who would you say is most responsible for current violence? Israeli government, 9%, Hamas, 42%. Okay, the rest, the rest of it's like the United States, that kind of thing, crazy stuff. Final question, would you say you approve or disapprove of President Biden's handling of the war between Israel and Hamas? Total approve 52, disapprove 48. About even. Okay, that is the poll there. So the House of Representatives is putting forth a spending bill to help Israel, $14 billion, actually 14.3. And I support that. Now, what President Biden wanted is he wanted Ukraine and Israel together. No, I think this is the smarter way to do it. 14.3 right now to support Israel. Okay with me. But the House says in order for us to pass that, you've got to cut 14.3 from the IRS budget. Remember, Biden pumped billions into the IRS so they could come to your house and take your stuff if you don't pay every dime or whatever. They want a very aggressive IRS, shaking down Americans. They have record tax receipts now in this country. They want more. The Biden administration, because he's the biggest spending president on earth. Anyway, I like that. I like the cut the IRS to pay Israel. But the Democrats don't. Jean-Pierre says it's a non-starter, using the cliche that she always uses. If you count up her cliches, they overwhelm you. Corinne Jean-Pierre. So it's a non-starter. No, Democrats don't want any cuts anywhere, so we're not going to do that. Okay, well, we'll see how it plays out, right? There was a hearing today on this money, and Secretary of State Blinken and U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin showed up at the Senate Appropriations Committee in Capitol Hill. Also showing up were protesters.
Stop supporting the genocide and ethnic cleansing of the people of Gaza.
We will suspend until the room is cleared.
Is calling for a ceasefire. Shame on you all.
So you ask, how did those people get in there? You can call ahead to get admitted to any hearing because the people's house. And these demonstrators, then, they all together, they organize this thing. It isn't like the January 6th thing. I mean, they legally got through and had permission to be there. But then when they started interrupting the hearings, they're all taken out of the room. Will there be any arrests? No, nothing will happen to them unless they punched the cop or destroyed something. Debt. You go to bed and wake up thinking about it. Here is the truth. The system traps you in debt. High interest credit cards and loans make it nearly impossible to pay it off. And insane inflation keeps you stuck paycheck to paycheck. Done with Debt is your lifeline. Done with Debt has a new strategy to help you erase debt faster and easier than you thought. It analyzes all the debt options you qualify for. They know how to reduce bills and cut interest rates. Their skilled staff of negotiators know how to get your debt out of your life without bankruptcy and without a loan. Done with Debt are the experts in brilliant strategies for eliminating debt. Here's how easy they make it. Go to donewithdebt.com. That's donewithdebt.com. All right, let's get to the mail. Perry Capitani, Garden City, New York. While I don't support the anti-Israeli crowd, I think the media is incorrectly portraying that crowd as anti-Semites, whereas most seem to be protesting against Israel's policies toward the Palestinian people, rather than hatred of Jews. Okay, I understand that, but I wouldn't say most. I'd say it's evenly divided or maybe tilting to hating Israel. Because this comes all out of the progressive movement. And they hate Israel. Progressive tenet is Israel's a fascist country. So we disagree a little bit on that. But I liked your letter, Perry. Lee, concierge member, Lee gets direct access to me. Bill, you're correct. The stock market peaked in July, has been downhill ever since, and the Biden administration is rolling out Kamala Harris for interviews, given her lack of interviewing skills, indicating how desperate they are. I know. There's no other reason why Kamala shows up. Phil, the 2024 election will tell whether or not the country will move forward. If the Republicans keep on going the way they are, they may lose. Then we're in real trouble. I don't like either party right now. And a lot of people feel the same way that you do, Phil. Mark, West Virginia. Bill 60 Minutes may not have had an agreement with Kamala Harris and the White House, but if you don't think they're in the tank, then I can't help you. That's my phrase. It seems like they're in the tank. 60 Minutes not what it was under Mike Wallace and Don Hewitt. Pretty big difference. Francesco. Bill, thanks for mentioning Matthew Perry's passing and the never-ending tragic consequences that substance abuse brings to families and friends. I wish more people would do that. We're giving addicts a pass, pushers a pass. No. It's a contagion. Albert Damsgaard, Cedar Springs, Michigan. I've been through Killing the Witches twice, and I'm now rereading selected chapters. With great information, this is a case where Christianity got out of hand and seemed to be controlled by a group of people who were lunatics. It wasn't Christianity. The Puritan sect, S-E-C-T, was thrown out of England and Holland because they were so crazy. They believed that you were going to hell if you did anything. Puritans did not even celebrate Christmas or Easter. They weren't Christians. It was a cult. That's what it was. And, we hone in on that on Killing the Witches. All right, tomorrow we're going to have a Christmas store opening on BillO'Reilly.com. We're going to do it a little bit differently this season because we want to save you a substantial amount of money. And we will. If you, buy into what we're going to do, we'll save you a lot of money by giving you different ways to gift. And, we got Christmas ornaments, we got mugs, we got shirts, of course, the books. But we're going to position it so that you can buy in bulk, take care of a lot of your gift giving for 50, 60% less and go into the dopey department stores. Have you seen the quality of merchandise in these department stores lately? It's just garbage. You buy a shirt, you wear it twice, that collar's going to fall right off. All right? You got to be real careful now. You got to go in, you got to go, look, who made it? If you don't buy all cotton, if you're buying a polyester stuff, kiss it goodbye after 2 washes. It's not going to be around. Shrinkage, it's terrible. Because, people don't want to spend a lot of money, so the department stores are bringing down the quality of the inventory. All it is, we don't do that, by the way. Okay, so if you want to get a preview, go into the BillO'Reilly.com shop tonight. Killing the Witches, obviously, perfect Halloween season book. Word of the day, do not be a fiend in the Halloween motif. F-I-E-N-D, do not be a fiend when writing to me. Okay, next up, Halloween View O'Reilly clip. Right back with it. You have helped support MyPillow and their employees in these very tough economic times. Mike Lindell knows that and continues to give back with deals on his most popular products. And now there's great news. The MyPillow 6-pack bath towel sets are back in stock. Their proprietary technology makes them absorbent, yet still provides that soft feel you want in a towel. The set comes with 2 bath towels, 2 hand towels, and 2 washcloths. For a limited time, get this 6-pack towel set for only $39.99 when you use the promo code BILL. That's a 50% savings. So please go to mypillow.com or call 800-869-0298. Use promo code BILL to save 50% on the MyPillow 6-pack towel sets. This is just $39.99 for a set. That deal will not last long. Okay, as a final thought of the day, time goes by. It's a cliche. You get older, time goes faster. One of my staff, Victor Garcia, dug up a clip from 2009 of me on The View on Halloween. Okay, now I have forgotten this even existed because I'm old. So I can't remember. I have so many things to remember. It's like, you did it. But anyway, the show back then was so much different than it is now. And that's the evolution of all television information programming. Fox News back then, so much different than now. MSNBC is about the same, but most have changed. CNN's fallen apart, totally. Okay, so here I am walking onto The View, October 30th, 2009. Boom.
He is the most feared man in cable news, who has those who oppose him quaking in their boots. But to us, he's a pussycat. Please welcome back, Bill O'Reilly. I hear you dressed like this at home all the time.
Yeah, and they hang from the ceiling.
Did you
I'm
take
the scariest guy in the world. This
You
isn't,
really
you know,
are.
this is
You
like,
don't need a
of course
costume.
not.
No, you scare everyone.
When kids come trick-or-treating to my house, I open the door, they go, ah!
Now, it was fun. All right, Barbara Walters was a friend of mine, and, you know, she didn't have any malice, and it was fun. Now, hey, I mean, you know, and there's 2 million people that want that every morning. I mean, that would double the ratings back in 2009. And it's happened to every show. I looked at it, because I get the ratings every day for everything. All right, I see who's watching what. And it's amazing to see the decline in people actually watching informational programming. And I wrote a message of the day about really scary stuff on BillO'Reilly.com. But the opening line was that people are fleeing television, network television, not watching it anymore. Unless you're older and you can't get that remote out of your hand. You know, the hand just goes like this. But if you are in the internet world, that's far more appealing than television. My urchins don't watch anything. There's not one show they watch. Now, I watch sports, and I watch Blue Bloods, which, you know, the strike has delayed that thing. That's a good show. And I, you know, once in a while, I'll tune in to 60 Minutes, but I used to watch it religiously. I don't anymore. But that's it. But now that there's an old guy bachelor show, I explain it in the message of the day. It's so insane. But anyway, you know, I used to look forward to going on to The View, and I'd even dress up in that dopey costume and look like Bela Lugosi, you know. I love those old horror movies, by the way. So last night, this is absolutely true, I had a little discretionary time, which I don't usually, and I put on The Fall of the House of Usher with Vincent Price. It was the cheapest, but it was good. It was, and there were 4 actors in the whole movie, 4. And then they cut to a picture of this big house. It was really, really, but what they managed to do. And I remember seeing it when I was a little kid, and it scared me. Okay? But I actually watched it, and I'm glad I did. Tonight, if I can, I'm going to watch The House of Frankenstein, which is a 1930s movie, I believe. But this is how demented I am. I mean, I'm just not recommending any of this, just telling you what I'm going to do. Anyway, happy Halloween. Thanks for watching the No Spin News, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you for watching the No Spin News. To watch the full episode anytime on BillO'Reilly.com, please sign up to become a premium or concierge member. Visit BillO'Reilly.com to sign up and start watching today.